Has anyone woken up Green Day? Because September is over and we are in the new month of October. So that means on WrestleChop, we look at the MVP of the last month. That's right. We take a moment, we stop and reflect on what happened in the previous month to see who were the most valuable players in all of WWE land. We look at the men and women's mid-card, the tag team, which we combine, and then we also look at the male and women main event scene and see who in each category was MVP. And I'm going to tell you something. This was the hardest one I've ever done because I feel like with the exception of the male mid-card division and the female main event division, I don't think anyone really deserves an MVP spot. It was like this was the most abysmal character building, momentum building month I have witnessed in a very long time since doing this series. That's for sure. And I started this series about 2 months after WrestleMania 40. So let's get into it. We'll start off with a banger, this one's obvious. This one to me was super obvious. It's the male mid-card division, and there's no competition here. No competition whatsoever. Well, maybe LA Knight, because at this point he's still mid-card, but no, for real, Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn just, he dominated. He dominated all month long as your mid-card champion even, but just your mid-carder. I can't see anyone that comes even close to touching Sami. Now, you might argue that Sami is a main eventer, and while yes, he has been in main events, he's even headlined a main event with Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief, but I still do consider him a mid-carder, and it's not because of the title, because Becky Lynch, she has a mid-card title, but I actually consider her a main event player. I still consider Sami as the tip top of the mid-card, but still mid-card nonetheless. And so why Sami? Well, let's just look at it. First off, I gotta say, I don't like how Sami got to this point. Last month, or the previous month, August, I was very harsh on Sami's win of the U.S. title, but my feelings don't matter. In fact, his win was in August, so it doesn't even matter for this series. We're only talking September. So all feelings aside, I could completely hate Sami Zayn, which I don't, but if I did, it wouldn't matter. I gotta just look at the facts, and the facts are Sami Zayn, he defends the title the first week of September against John Cena. He gets an ultra rare John Cena match. And he says he's going to open up the U.S. Challenge Open once more that John made famous, and boom, it's off to the races. Brock Lesnar will attack, and we don't get to see who would have won that match, but don't matter. Sami got a match with John Cena, starts his open challenge. Next week, he pulls Rey Fenix out of catering and says, let's go. Showcases how good Rey Fenix actually is. He wins. Then he gets Mello actually gets a singles match. Holy crap. And he shows how good Mello is. And then the next week, he gets Javon Evans into the main roster, introducing everybody to how great and awesome Javon is. I kind of wish Mello would have won, and I really wish that Javon would have won, but I understand why they didn't. And Javon, he does lose, but it was very reminiscent of when John Cena actually was challenged by Sami during the first U.S. challenge, and really Sami showed the WWE universe what he was all about, and that's what we did here. Javon Evans showed what he's all about. So Sami Zayn is winning, is fighting every week. A champion that actually shows up and fights is almost unheard of in Triple H's WWE landscape. So it's very refreshing to see this. And while, yes, again, I was not happy how Sami got the title, I'm very happy on how his title defense is actually being treated, because it is a joy to watch. And he's putting over younger talent like Javon. He's getting people spotlights like Phoenix and Carmelo, and, well, you know what? That was just a really cool match with John Cena in the beginning as well. So, Sami Zayn, definitely 100% your MVP of the male mid-card division. And while he continues to defend the U.S. title, I'm going to defend the U.S. title right now on wrestlechop. At 20,000 subscribers, I'm going to actually give this belt away if you want it. I have other belts you can choose from, though, but first, you gotta win. How do you win, you ask? You didn't ask it? Well, ask it. I'll wait. No, for real. You're not asking it. Ask me how to win, how to win the title. Okay, fine, you're not going to ask. Whatever, I'll tell you anyways. All you got to do to win is comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell, ding, 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 notification, and you can win said belt right here. I'm not gonna knock on it because it's pointy and it hurts every single time, but you can win it. And, yeah, please also thumb up the video. Thumb up the video. All right, so now let's go to the women's mid-card division. Now, Becky Lynch is your Intercontinental Champion, and she had a lot of stuff going on in the beginning of the month. But that said, I don't view her as a mid-carder. I still view her as a main event player. Therefore, she's not eligible for MVP of the mid-card. But don't worry, she's still the best in the world. And that's not just me saying it. That's actually Sports Illustrated saying it. So who, though, will be the mid-card? I don't know. There weren't many people to choose from. AJ Lee comes back, but I actually still consider her main event talent. Jade Cargill, what about her? Nope, I consider Jade actually to be a main event player. So, who could it be? The choices were very limited, actually. You have Lyra, but what has she really done other than just be confused about Bayley? So, Bayley, I consider main eventer. There's Raquel Rodriguez, but while Raquel is the most improved of the WWE, in my opinion, for 2025, she didn't really do much in September. She won a couple good matches, so yeah, good job on winning the matches, but ironically, wrestling is more than just wrestling. It's about character and storylines, and she really had not much of that going on. So the only person I can think of that I would give it to is Kairi Sane, actually, because Kairi, well, she has been wrestling, but she's part of a storyline in which she's very much like a focal point. And you might be asking, well, shouldn't you give Io or Asuka the spot? I consider Asuka, Io, and Rhea Ripley to be main event players. But Kairi Sane, I think we'd all agree that she's pretty much the jobber of this four-person matchup here, and I think Kairi's more mid-card than main event, and I'm not like insulting her here, but she feels more mid-card to me, who just happens to be in an angle with a bunch of main event players, which is great for her. Maybe she will bump up to that full main event spot, but for right now, I view her as mid-card, and, well, look at the spot she's in. A main event segment on Raw. She's actually, like, she has a thing now where Asuka yells her name. Kairi is being pulled so many directions. She doesn't know what to do. At the end, she sides with her mentor, Asuka, even though she knows it's wrong. You can tell that Kairi just doesn't want to do what she's being forced to do, but she has to because of loyalty to Asuka. She turns on Io. This is the most that Kairi has been given to sink her teeth into in regards to character work and storyline. So I'm giving it to Kairi Sane as the mid-card MVP of September. So now let's go to the tag team division. The tag team division, I don't split up. I just do one MVP of tag teams in general because the entire tag team division, male or female, is completely usually booked horribly. Therefore, there's really no, like, it's hard enough to just find one MVP of a division. There's just not enough storylines for the tag teams for me to justify giving out two MVPs. So that said, who do I give it to? I mean, the New Day, while I thank God for them, they they literally were in a feud with one dude, Penta, and lost. So, unfortunately, I can't give it to my favorite tag team. So then who could it be? We could do, what has Charlotte and Alexa really done other than some backstage promos where they're trying to still not be friends while being friends? It's like, that's starting to get a little like, I don't know, maybe it's time to do something else. But yeah, I don't really have anything for them. They did win one match against Chelsea Green and Alba Fire, but again, like, all right, no heat there. So who else could we do? You could do the Kabuki Warriors, but honestly, they didn't really tag team up. Yeah, they're kind of there, and sometimes I will just give it to a tag team for storyline wise. But I mean, I guess Kabuki Warriors is a maybe, which would be cool if I did pick them because then it would be a full sweep. Spoiler alert. But no, I think I gotta give it to. What about the SmackDown division? The SmackDown division has had a strong tag team up until recently, because Triple H likes to do that thing where there's new champions and then they just stop defending the belt, unless it's Sami Zayn. The Wyatts. The Wyatts really haven't been doing much. They did they get a match at WrestlePalooza? See, that's the thing. I don't even know anymore. Everything with the tag team division is just like, oh, let's have a match. Okay, now let's do another match. Let's match this, match that. It's like, I don't even remember at this point if they had a match at WrestlePalooza. There's the Street Profits. Street Profits, they have a case. There's that, like, are they going to break up dynamic? And then they did beat Mellow Don't Miz to have their number one contenders now. And there is kind of a story going of, are they going to break up? And Bray Wyatt doing his Karrion Kross impression, trying to sow seeds of dissension between them. But I gotta go to Raw, actually. This is like, I don't want to do this one, but honestly, I probably have to give it to the Brawns. They're not even an official tag team, but it's like they're consistently main eventing, a little too consistent, if you ask me. I wouldn't mind someone else getting into that main event scene. And they beat the Usos. They had a tornado tag match. They're just all over the place. It seems like we're heading in the direction of them being a tag team. You could say the Usos, they reunited and stuff, but it doesn't seem like they're setting the world on fire. And Jay is kind of crashing out in his own little world anyways. So like, Jay's more of a singular guy who just happens to be teaming up with his brother, who happens to be one of the greatest tag teams of all time. But no, maybe I should give it to the Judgment Day, the team that like never defends their title or do anything. Like, why did we give them the titles? But no, let's give the Judgment Day the titles when they are never going to defend it and job out the New Day. Yeah, okay. Way to go, Triple H. Yeah, the Brawns. I'm going to give it to the Brawns. Main events, they're fighting the Usos. They got them to reunite. They have Bron Breakker's a walking viral machine soundbite. I got to give it to them, I think. Kabuki Warriors would be a maybe. They're the only ones I could see rival them. Maybe the Street Profits too, but the Kabuki Warriors, it's almost like, it's kind of like the Usos. It's like more of the Asuka show that just happens to have Kairi around, and they just happen to be a tag team beforehand. So, yeah, Brawns are your tag team MVPs. And it's like, you see what I mean? It's just hard. Nobody really deserves the MVP of the tag team for September, but I got to give it to someone. So let's just go with the Brawns. And then, let's see. Now we're in the main event scene. And who would that be? I'll probably give it to, let's do the women one. The woman one is tough. The woman MVP is tough. There's so many contenders for it. So I'm just gonna go with let's do the male MVP, because I don't think there's a good male MVP for September. There really isn't much to go off of. John Cena got squashed, and he had a couple appearances. He did have a fight with Sami Zayn, a wrestling match with Sami Zayn, but like, just the squash just really killed it, and then he doesn't appear again. I love John Cena, but yeah, so he's not in it. Seth Rollins, what has he really done? He can't even get heat. Like, he can't get heat for his matchup to the point where he comes out and he's fighting Cody Rhodes, champion versus champion, and people are cheering for CM Punk or Roman Reigns. He just can't draw heat without Becky getting him the heat. Cody Rhodes, what did he do? He said that he wanted the John Cena schedule, and we all thought he wanted the 2012 John Cena schedule, but no, I guess he was talking about the retirement tour John Cena schedule because the dude wasn't even present. He wasn't even present enough here. So, like, he beat Drew. Cool, you beat Drew, who, like, is the main event jobber. Him and LA Knight, main event jobber. So, like, yeah, Cody Rhodes is like, does that warrant an MVP spot that you beat Drew McIntyre? Unfortunately, no, not at this point. Who else then do we got? Roman Reigns, he came back, but like this is the Roman Reigns cycle. You return, big pop, beat somebody up, you dominate them for one night, then you win the match or lose the match, you get dominated. Roman gets dominated, beat up, goes to the hospital, goes to Hollywood, comes back and dominates. You know, that's the Roman Reigns thing, so I'm not giving it to Roman. So now where do we go? CM Punk's a maybe. I mean, I don't get this, though. So CM Punk, like, he has a big, good, solid beginning of the month, right? Solid beginning of the month to the point where he gets AJ to come back after 10 years, you know, because of Becky Lynch. That was a huge, huge promo where Becky Lynch is just being a horrible person to CM Punk. And so it's like gets people talking. A huge, hot angle. Then they win. They win at WrestlePalooza, and then boom, gone. This is such weird booking to me that nowadays, like, you can totally win your feud and just not show up for weeks. Like, it's been 2 Raws, and CM Punk hasn't showed up at all. Nobody talks about him. Nobody says nothing. Like, I'm like, what is going on here? How do we carry this momentum? Like, it's just, like, even when you win, it's stop-go pushes. And then the argument is this, that less is more. Like, less is more. I'm no longer buying that. I no longer am accepting, oh, they're young, don't worry, we don't need to push them, they got plenty of time. I'm no longer accepting that. I'm no longer accepting, oh, it's long-term booking. No longer accepting that. And I'm no longer accepting less is more. No, less is less. Less is less. CM Punk should have came out of WrestlePalooza on fire. But Seth is fighting Cody Rhodes for champion versus champion. So what? So freaking what? You think Stone Cold would have won a match and then just sat out for 3 or 4 weeks? The dude broke his freaking neck and was at work the next week, I believe, or 2 weeks, at least 2 weeks later, or doing a promo on the satellite, via satellite. Like, for real, it's like, I don't get it. So why would I put CM Punk? Why does CM Punk deserve to be the MVP? But the problem is there's not many other choices because nothing else is really going on. I guess, you know who I'm going to give it to? And I hate this, and I don't want to give it to this dude, but maybe Brock Lesnar, he deserves it. Because, like, if you think about Brock, if you were just looking at it from a very objective standpoint, I take my feelings and I just throw it away, and then I just light it on fire and stomp on it, like Triple H seems to be doing to my heart lately. Brock Lesnar, like, I guess he showed up, and that's how bar the low is now. He showed up. Oh my God. But yeah, he showed up and disrupted the Sami John Cena match. So there, he made an impact. The next week he shows up and he looks like a moron though, because he's like, where's John? Even though you were like, they advertised that as his last appearance. But then he shows up again and beats up the announcers. So I guess he's making an impact. And then when you think about this, he does squash John Cena. John getting squashed eliminates him from MVP prospect, but Brock actually squashing John when he only has 6 appearances left, while yes, is bad booking, in my opinion, horrible booking, in my opinion, atrocious booking, in my opinion, god-awful, what the heck booking, in my opinion. But that said, for the character of Brock, makes him look good. He did get Paul Heyman to announce him even, and on the last Raw of September, even Cody Rhodes brought him up. It was like, what about Brock? To Seth Rollins, did you tell Paul Heyman he could go and announce Brock? So the fact is, he's still in everybody's mind. The shadow of Brock Lesnar is looming over everybody. So I hate to do this because I am so over Brock Lesnar. I guess he's your MVP. It's between him and CM Punk. I'm gonna give it to Brock Lesnar. Hate that. Thank God it's not Goldberg though. Like, could you imagine? I think if I ever give Goldberg an MVP, I'm probably gonna just delete the channel. The channel will be over, or I'll become a faceless YouTube channel if I ever have to give it to Goldberg. Thank God he's retired. Please keep him in retirement. Okay, so now let's go to the women's MVP spot. Now, this one was hard. This one was very, very difficult. Like, for one, like, I'm going to do something I've never done before. I'm not going to give Jade Cargill the MVP spot, but I'm going to give her the MVP moment of the month, in that when she was part of like a botch fest, and she was the only one who didn't botch actually, and she got all bloodied up, and then during that she looks in the camera and just like, let's go. That was a moment right there. I really hope they play off it, because that could elevate her. I don't know if she'll get to the point where Becky was when she got her nose punched in by Nia, but like, this was a really good moment to show the passion and fire of Jade Cargill, bloodied face and all, just screaming into the camera. We gotta capitalize on that. And so that's your MVP moment of the month. So she doesn't get the full spot though. So MVP women's main event scene. You could argue AJ Lee. She comes back over out of 10 years, but not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. It might be the MVP feel good moment of the year, but like I think her return went really well for what it was, with the exception of like CM Punk. Once they won, there was no mention at all. It's like momentum, keep that momentum going, but nope, they didn't do that. So that is one of the things that's going to disqualify her. Now Becky Lynch could deserve to be on the MVP spot. I would actually probably rather give her the male MVP spot, because she was mixing it up with the dudes for a lot of the early parts of the month, and I felt she did a great job. First off, she knows how to get heat. So when her and Seth are together, Seth feels like an actual villain. Then she's definitely attacking CM Punk. Now, her attacking CM Punk, the first encounter was actually in August, so I can't really judge that, but in the matchup, she was definitely all over the place. She was, to me, the star of that mixed match, because she was just somebody you wanted to punch in the face, and that's great. That's awesome. That's an actual heel. Holy crap, a heel that actually gets heat. Like, how do you do it, Becky? I wish everybody would start to look at Becky and try to mimic her, because she's doing a great job as a heel, and I love it. So Becky Lynch holding the Intercontinental title, but not really defending it, but just being in the main event scene, mixing it up with people like CM Punk. She's so obnoxious and horrible that she drags AJ Lee out of retirement, so that's amazing stuff. And then, unlike CM Punk and AJ, who won, when they lost, Becky still shows up. Now, she's not really in the ring cutting promos, but her presence is still there. When she has a segment, she steals the scene. She steals the spotlight. And I appreciate that. But I'm gonna give it to Asuka. Asuka has been all over the place. Every week, Asuka is just, she's in a huge storyline, an amazing storyline that sucked in the beginning, that was kind of childish in the beginning, but Asuka, through her determination and character and just personality, has made it work to one of the best things going on in WWE right now. Actually stopping the stranglehold that the Vision has on the main event scene on Raw. She gets in a main event matchup with Rhea Ripley. She spits the mist in Rhea, and Rhea becomes a Smurf. Then she does it to Io. She betrays Io. Io is crying. The storyline is just there. It's amazing and it's awesome. A rare feud, a women's feud without a title even, and it's center stage, and I love this. I love it. Asuka has now raised up everybody. Now, you could say that Io and Rhea, they were already stars, and that's fair, but I do feel that Rhea, like, I don't know. So, I don't hate Rhea Ripley, right? But I have not really enjoyed her since she became a face. And I'm going to say that this is the most that I've enjoyed Rhea since literally Dominic turned on her. So, like, I believe that this storyline and Asuka being such a great villain is getting sympathy for Rhea, and I'm giving her sympathy now. And Io couldn't buy a storyline when she was the champion, and now look at her. Now she's developing, she's speaking, she's all these things. I wish this storyline had happened when she was champion, but be that as it may, here we are right now, and this is all I can go off of. But again, rising up Io to being a character, not just a great wrestler. We know she's a great wrestler, but what did I say earlier? Wrestling's more than just wrestling, and now we get to see Io as a character. And then we already talked about Kairi. Kairi has been like so overlooked since coming on the main roster. It's borderline criminal, and Asuka has now got Kairi in a sympathetic character where the audience is like, we can't wait for a couple months down the road when she eventually says no to Asuka and turns on her. Asuka is like, she is such a powerful presence that three people are revolving around her right now. So, like, I'm giving it to Asuka. Storyline, she had a great match with Rhea Ripley and everything, and she lost, but who cares? Storyline-wise, character work-wise, raising other people up, she's your women's main event MVP. Honestly, only Sami and Asuka probably really deserved the MVP spots. Maybe Brock Lesnar, but, like, I just, like, it was a bad month. September was a bad month, but Asuka and Sami, you showed up, showed out, and great job to both of you. Becky Lynch, I liked you too a lot. But sorry, I had to give it to Asuka for this one. So there you have it, my MVPs of September. Oh, I forgot one. I forgot two, actually. You boys, you girls, you're the MVPs of this channel. I appreciate every single one of you. Have a good day.